peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. I said peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. I said peace, tranquility.
Yeah.
Roll up the weed and get high. I said peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high.
What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all?
We back.
Yeah, we back. Another one, man. My name is Lade.
That's been Bonnet.
All right, and you are tuned into TheyFired Us. New podcasts, new concepts, more creativity, more ideas.
More everything.
Yeah, more everything. I know a lot of people might be looking at us like, yo, what happened, man? What happened? But long story short, we don't want to dissect into that because we have a lot to address today. Shots were fired. They fired us. And turning a negative to a positive, we decided to continue moving forward. And it would be just better to move forward with the two of us. For those who were with us with our old podcast, we continue to inspire you to join us in this new venture of ours. Continue to support us as we prayerfully inspire you all. So thank you for joining us and thank you for being with us. Thank you for your love and support first and foremost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just before we start, They Fired Us. We'll still have the same premise of talking about work, the workers. We will dissect into that more, but just with a little twist. You know, we're gonna be talking about everything that affects the people, you know, and what is sincere to our hearts.
It's gonna be a good ride, man. For everybody that's been used to the content that we've been, producing for you guys. I'm still me, Lade still Lade, so you're still gonna get us. Just a little more, man. On the best way I could say it, just a little more freedom to, speak on the things that we really, really want to speak on.
Definitely. And as that being said, things we want to talk about, this episode is titled Shots Fired. And I think that we can all relate to it being, just pandemic, what's going on in today's society. And before we get into our main topic, which we were discussing reasons why one would get fired from a job, we want to talk about what's happening right now. You know, we're not gonna be ignorant to what's going on. We really, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's like so many emotions to describe what is going on, and the people are filled with rage, filled with depression, anxiety, excitement. Not one word can sum it up, So we thought in our robbery as a collective to come up with this, and we just hope that you like it. So we're going to talk about the cops and police brutality right now. I have some questions. They're really rhetorical, but they're really not, if that makes sense. I'm going to read the questions. We're going to choose to discuss it. Followed by that, we're going to do a moment of silence. And then we're going to proceed to our main topic. So the three questions are, why are shots being fired at the Black community? Why do we still have racism? And why is the hate so strong? And this is directed to cops and police brutality right now. We obviously know that, and this is just my personal belief, and I know that everybody else has their personal belief. And it's funny too, because I was in a conversation with a friend during this awakening about this on Facebook, and my argument was that the cops, I know that her argument was not all cops are bad, and I said that I agree with you, but when white supremacists and the cops look at us, they don't look at us as individuals. They look at us as a whole group. They look at us as a unit. They look at us as thugs. They look at us as a threat. They don't look at us as not all Black people are bad. And this is the point that I was trying to be vocal about to her. And she was just, saying that not all cops are bad. And I'm just like, this is where we're creating static.
Exactly, because everyone chooses to either deny or just forget about that fact you just said.
Yeah.
The same way people pretend like just the life double standards doesn't apply to it. They try to break it down and say, oh, it's just right or wrong and this and that. No, you create that double standard for yourself, because within the boys in blue, they stick together.
Yeah.
Even the good cops don't speak up against the bad cops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sorry for cutting you off. Even the good cops that do speak, they're being punished for speaking up. So it's just like, how is that even being good? How was that?
They essentially do the same things that we inner city kids do, ghetto or thugs, whatever they want to say.
Of course.
Like, we do the same thing because we try to protect our own. That's what you're supposed to do. So you can't excuse me. So you can't constantly try to use that narrative or constantly repeat that statement if you're not going to apply it across the board.
Yeah.
Cops aren't bad.
Mm-hmm.
All Black kids aren't bad. All ghetto people aren't bad.
Yeah.
So why not apply that to?
When you look at the whole spectrum and you look at white supremacy, do you see it as all white supremacists aren't bad, or do you see it as white supremacy as a whole being bad and it's being institutionalized as that? You could even break it down to, you say, with the whole weed and weed being legalized, do all people who are selling weed need to be in jail right now, or do they all need to be free? Like you can't just break things down on one spectrum if you can't put it across the whole board, especially right now, especially when it comes to politics, when it comes to racism, injustice, inequality, especially when it applies to systematic changes that need to be spoken about and shed in a positive manner, and it needs to be positive actions being intertwined to all of these events, all of these occasions, all of these things that are happening to people of color. It's not right, for these people to innocently, I don't even know if that's the word, to be losing their lives. It's no reason why, obviously, the media plays a certain part of it in provoking emotions and that, but there's no reason why you should wake up in the morning and you're seeing all of the stress, man. You're stressed, and rightfully so. Me personally, I chose not to watch those videos, because I definitely know I know the person I am, I sense energy, so seeing that, I didn't want that energy in me, so I didn't watch those videos. But it's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's enough is enough. It's we the people are tired.
And that's exactly what it is. And you know me, usually I would go on this whole, angry tangent and just go off. And trust and believe. I wanted to do that. I even sat down and try to like really write my thoughts out just so I can articulate it, the way that I want to. But
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat right now as Killer Mike. I don't have nothing good to say. But the one thing that I do want to say, because it's just a lot, but this is what I want to say in particular. And I'm not gonna name drop the person who brought me to even saying this, but I feel like it needs to be said.
right.
I'm Puerto Rican. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a proud Puerto Riqueño, Boricua, whatever you want to say. And I'm strictly saying this for the people who pretend like you don't know the history behind that ethnicity, that background, that nationality. So I'm not even gonna break down because I know the background of it. But to those who pretend like you don't know the background of it, you shop in these businesses every day. You see these African American men and women every day. You live by them, you work with them, you're cool with them. How can you be around these people, chill with these people, conversate with these people, and don't take no disrespect. I'm just saying these people just and how I'm talking right now. But you're around these communities, this culture. You use this culture for your life every day, whether you wake up to a certain song. I wake up to Biggie every day. That's how I start my day. I start my day with Biggie, Juicy every day. Every day you around this culture, you're just around it. But when this bullshit happens, when it's blatant murder, complete murder on camera, live fucking murder, and you choose to do this and stay quiet and just start to go down, and all of a sudden you don't have a voice, that's
Yeah.
what I got a problem with. Once again, I'm Puerto Rican, Puerto Riqueño a la sangre. You understand what I'm saying? But I know the roots and I know everything behind that. And forget the roots. If it had nothing to do with being African or anything like that, forget the roots. Once again, you're still around these people every day. You're shopping in their businesses. You're cool with them. You're working with them. You're listening to the music. How can anybody, white, black, whatever, see that murder? There was another cop that said, nowhere in the academy or anywhere in police officing do they teach you to put your knee on someone's neck,
Nowhere,
let
nowhere.
alone for 9 minutes.
Mm.
It's murder. Whatever you have, speak. Whatever platform you have, speak. This is the time to speak. If you can watch another man or woman get murdered and not speak, fuck being a part of the problem. You are the problem. And that's where I stand on that, man.
Yeah, man. It's you know, these times kind of just erase so much emotion, to this situation. It kind of goes all across the board. Yes, we're talking about police brutality and what has happened. Also, there is a part of humanity where you would like people to stand up and represent, what is right, and I'm not taking my background, my ethnicity out of it, and my people out of it. But for those who choose to, let's just say right or wrong, and what your belief system is, an innocent person died. An innocent person died. What is your moral compass? What do you what do you what do you believe in? To sit back and just watch an innocent person die, you know, shows there are no words. There are no words, because we could talk about that for one spectrum, and then we could talk about the Amy Cooper situation where this woman in Central Park thought she was threatened, you know, and the result of that was people are talking more about the dog than an attack on a black male, and it's just like, look at where we choose to put our priorities to, and it just goes again to say that black people have been at the bottom for the longest. We've been treated like dirt. We've been treated like shit, and we have created so much for the world that we haven't got the recognition that we deserve.
Exactly.
you know, which alludes to the point that we are tired, you know, and I pray that this is something that we do not forget, you know, because when things get quiet, you know, I pray that we can still remember how tired we are this year. You know, um, people think that last year was bad, you know, and we have to see things that happen in this year. But this is just, you know, with social media, you know, with, you know, Trump being in office, we're seeing true colors, you know, and we're seeing how this is going to proceed for the next couple of years, because with things getting better, things have to go through, you know, things have to get worse before things get better. You know, it's just like when it rains, you know, it has to rain and thunder before the sunshine comes. Same analogy here, you know. So there's a lot that needs to be addressed. There's a lot that has to be fixed, you know. But what needs to be fixed right now is realizing that Black lives do matter, and they have mattered. You know, we're just not going to put it as Black lives matter. Black lives have always mattered, you know. So
I wanna repeat a tweet that I've seen on Twitter that's perfect for this, because I'm also tired of people trying to intervene with all lives matter. So hopefully this analogy would be perfect. If there's 10 houses on a block, one house is burning. The firemen come to put out the fire, and that one house, there's only one house burning. Would he then go to every house and water it for no reason? Yes, all houses matter. Everybody's house has to be safe, right? But your house isn't burning. Your house isn't getting the tenants murdered. Nothing is going on in your house right now. So even though it might matter, look what the fuck is going on.
correct.
It's that simple. A man was murdered, and this has happened over and over again. Men and women, African American men and women, minority men and women, stopped for nothing, killed for nothing. And you can search videos and place them side by side, where you'll have a white person being approached for the same exact thing, and
Yeah,
just watch that altercation, watch how that situation transpires versus with the minority. It's
yeah,
like, at this point, if you deny it, you're nothing but a racist.
yeah.
You're nothing but a racist. This
And
isn't something, like, it's not something people are talking about. The world is seeing with their own eyes, even though we've seen it before, but now we see it. Like, come on.
yeah. And what kind of, it doesn't bother me because I just know it's plain ignorance. I don't want to hear what happened prior. Is there more to the story? I need the whole I need the whole um I need the whole piece to the puzzle. No, an innocent life was taken. That is the objective. That is the main point. That is the plot to this whole horror movie that we're watching. You know, it's not making any sense to me, and it's not going to make sense to me until justice is actually served. And
Yes, and not just charged, not just held, like, actually paying for that crime he committed. Because this happens all the time. Oh, such and such officer was tried, was charged, but 24 hours later they bailed out, and there's no trial, there's no actual charge, no none of that. Nothing sticks.
yeah.
So
And
it's
and when we're talking about that, my opinion is that we need to go a little deeper. You know, some of these are just put on desk, you know, leave, so they still have a job, but they're working from a desk. You know, and even if they get fired, they're still out on the streets. You know, so you we do not know what other corruption they're gonna do. You know, look at what happened to Aubrey. You know, he got shot while running. You know, the people who shot him were ex-cops. You know, so they know the law, they know the protocol. You know, they were retired, but they still killed a black man. So imagine these people who are cops get left on the street, you know, get sent back home. You know, who's to say that they're not going to shoot other black people, you know,
for jogging.
yeah, or for wearing a hoodie, or for going to the store for Arizona some Skittles, you know, or, you know, in their bed while they're sleeping, you know, like these are things that when you put it on a wall and you say right or wrong, it's clear like night and day to see that, you know, these things are wrong, these things aren't right, you know, these things should not be happening, you know, to anybody. Agree to that. But right now, the trajectory is on black people, black culture, black lives. That's where the trajectory is right now.
And everybody that's like so crazy infatuated with designer. Think about that as well. Not designer the rapper, like clothing. Think about that as well. Every piece of whatever amount of money piece of clothing you have on.
Mm-hmm.
Think about where that comes from. Do you see Gucci advocating or speaking up? You know, if anybody has, please put in the comments. Let me know. Fendi, Louis, all of these. Have you seen them? Shout out to Nike. I seen a commercial. Shout out to Nike. But anybody else, have you seen anything? So think about what you wearing and what you go outside and I'm so drippy and this and that. Listen, man.
Yeah, we need to change we need to change the script, because, you know, I saw a page, a black page on social media. I think she was a blogger. I'm not 100% sure if my information is accurate. However, she was calling out these publications for not speaking. She was calling out Vogue. She was calling out these other magazines who haven't spoken up. And Vogue just posted one thing, and then they just went back to their regular business. And it's just like, that's just showing ignorance. If you're gonna do that, then don't post at all. You know, because how can you just post one thing and then ignore what is going on right now? And what I'm still trying to analyze is who is sincere in their message and really cares about black people, and who is doing it just to save face and just to pretend like they care about us, but really they just want our sales and want our money. So, you know, that just leaves it at a catch-22, you know, but you have to take in the positive and say, at least they're talking. You know, because so many people, like you just said, are quiet and not saying anything, which I have a big problem with. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the question of, why do I have some of my white friends fighting for our issues and some black and Hispanics are not saying anything? That baffles me. You know, I have white friends who are close to me who they love our culture. They're not racist. They fight for our behalf. And they've been fighting since I've known them. Mm-hmm. I had a friend that I met that I used to work with at Trader Joe's. He messaged me this morning on IG, and we shared a whole conversation, you know? And I was surprised that he even messaged me and asked me, how do we stop this? You know, it surprised me that he said he's sick and tired of this, you know? Cause the concern level is there. The innate emotion to somebody dying, it's there. You know, the care factor is past 100%. You know, this touches hearts, you know. You know, we have to stop looking at Black people as murderers, criminals, thugs, enemies. We need to stop. You know, you go to the school shooting, you go to the church, you know, shooting. Who are these people? These people are these people are not people of color.
And they're always allowed the excuse of, oh, he grew up in a broken home and he has mental issues or whatever else. How many people do we see every day? Do we bump into every day, converse with, engage, whatever, that done been through so much and are never allowed that same excuse? Why? A 8-year-old minority kid could see somebody get shot right in front of him, and that'll traumatize him for the rest of his life, and eventually have him just do some messed up shit that he ain't even thought he would do.
Yeah.
That kid is not offered that same thing. But the white kids, oh, he grew. It's way worse over here. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Come to the Bronx, go to Brooklyn. I promise you, it's way worse over here than any suburban neighborhood that's filled with Caucasian, white, whatever. I promise you, it's worse over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you know, and we have to watch our. We have to watch our. It's a full-time job being a person of color. A full-time job, you know, especially for Black males. You know, we're at the bottom, you know. We are at the bottom. You want us to entertain you. You want us to take care of your kids. You want us to
it's a circus.
yeah.
It's a circus. That's like the best way for me to put it. They look at us as it's just a circus where we're entertained by what you do. Yeah, we love it, but once we leave, we don't give a fuck what y'all doing.
Of course.
And that's what they need to stop. Just, man, I could go on for days, but I'm gonna just leave it at this. The minute you turn your TV on, the minute you turn your radio on, the minute you open up whatever social media platform you have, 9 times out of 10, the first thing you're gonna see is a man or woman of color. And I guarantee that you go to those every day to find entertainment for yourself or just get you through the day, whether it's music playing in the background. Everybody wakes up to these things. And that's the point I was making earlier. Everyone claims to be so involved with the culture and just loves the culture so much, and they take from it so much. And when these things happen, those same people don't say not a word. Any big brand I got, which I probably really don't, like I'm really about to just discard all of that. And I really feel strongly about that. I refuse to constantly put money in certain businesses' pockets and helping them, you know, do whatever. And they're not gonna speak for the same people. That's the reasons why they're still standing. There's so many, even local businesses, bro, like Chinese restaurants or whatever it is. These same people that use these communities as a benefit for them need to start speaking up.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to dive deeper, but that's a different battle for like another day. You know, like you said, like the Chinese. You know, like the Chinese experience their own racism. You know, and they just did with the whole coronavirus. You know, and all of that, and we had to be sympathetic to them. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
they didn't like it when it was done to them. It's
exactly, and we were saying what is true. What is true now is like, oh, now y'all understand what we go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like now y'all understand. You know, but it's just crazy. You know, like why are shots being taken at the Black community, you know? And I think that we addressed it on several levels here, man. Like, why are shots being still taken? You know, we don't went through slavery. We done went through being raped. We done went through, experiencing the kids being taken from the families. We already witnessed, the civil rights movement being attacked with dogs and fire hoses and stuff like that. We, you know, experienced the separation of families, which kind of started, the single mothers, which kind of started feminism, but we're not going to get into that. We don't went through, fighting wars for you, civil wars. We don't already put our foot on a line for America. I shared a video on Instagram, and the lady, and this was a video 60 years ago, saying that part of the red in the American flag is from our blood. And it's true. We built America, and we do not get the credit
at all.
Yeah.
We were taught so much by America, and we get crucified for repeating those teachings.
Yeah.
When they talk about looting and just all of these things, America has done that. The quote unquote Americans was not the original ones here. The original ones here got kicked out, and they basically took everything.
Of course. Right. Of course. You want to talk about looting, if you're going to go into that, let's talk about Africa, and let's talk about China. Let's talk about France. Let's talk about America looting from Africa, taking its natural resources. Let's talk about that for a minute if we want to talk about that. If we really wanted to dig deep into, looting and Black community and Black culture. It doesn't just affect here in America. It affects the whole world.
Everywhere. And
it affects the whole world. When Mexico was being attacked by Trump, we were sympathetic to Mexico and the people, wherein Puerto Rico was getting trashed by Trump. We were sincere. We were donating. We were contributing. So now when these things are addressed with our culture, with our people, how come we can't get the same thing?
Exactly. It's nothing to sugarcoat. It's nothing to making excuses. That's why there's no way you can take racism out of it, period. But just to make a point, if you support this, you're in support of murder. You're in support of being murdered for nothing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is blatant. He had his knee on a guy's neck for 9 minutes as he was saying, "I can't breathe." His mother was, I'm not sure how long his mother been passed, but his mother been passed away, and he's screaming for his mother. A grown man screaming for his mother with your knee on his neck. I can't breathe. If you're not saying nothing, you're in support of murder. These are things that a lot of people in this environment get crucified every day. And don't get me wrong, there's emotionless things that do happen. A lot of the times no matter whether you want to hear the reason, and a lot of times there is a reason behind it. So if the other races get allowed to actually express those reasons, why can't we have that same opportunity? Why with us is just an assumption?
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of intertwines with the other questions, why do we still have racism and why is the hate so strong? When we had our other platform, we talked about racism for a little bit. For those of you who remember that, we talked about this. I have to say, one of my favorite white women, Jean Elliott, who preaches about racism and actually does demonstrations where she teaches, white people about racism and how it's wrong to actually be racist. My question as to hers is always, why are you racist? Who taught you that racism was okay? Like, who taught you this philosophy? Who brainwashed you and allowed you to be conditioned that this is actually right? You know, and for those of you who do not know of her teachings, please research and please watch the videos of the demonstrations that she has done. You see how uncomfortable white people are. You begin to see how they start to realize that they have been lied to. And you see how discomfort occurs. You see how uncomfortable they become when they start to do their own thinking, when they start to form their own logic, you know. And I don't know why the hate is so strong. I don't have the answer for that. You know, I can have my own assumption about jealousy, about envy, about, you know.
That's what I was about to say.
You know, but I don't know. I personally have never been white a day in my life.
This is what I personally think about that, and I'm just judging off of history, right? You go to slavery and just people just, you know, white people just stepping in and taking over shit and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why I personally go straight to jealousy in a sense is because there's no logical reason for you to feel like someone else is more superior if you honestly feel that way about yourself. So that's the, people could laugh or whatever. I know on the previous platform I said a lot, but just really look at that. People, I'll use Mexicans. People talk so much shit about Mexicans, but who's the first ones that you're liable to call when it comes to building some shit? It's a Mexican person. So when you have these individuals, you know, who just have a natural, you know, certain physique and just have a natural certain strength, and they can do all of these things that you can't do. That's the only thing that I can try to have it make sense for me.
Yeah, and since the beginning, we have done nothing but had our arms open. Welcome. Since the beginning. That's how we got played, because we had our arms open, you know? And when does it stop? When does it stop? Martin Luther King was nonviolent in his approach.
And still got killed.
Still got assassinated. Malcolm X, assassinated. Nipsey, assassinated. If you ever want to break it down, Pop Smoke, assassinated. We are sick of being any of our white allies who have tried to help us have been assassinated. John F. Kennedy, Princess Diana have been assassinated. Anybody who is for the people, who are for humanity, for equal rights.
And it's not, this question has been asked like just throughout this whole week with the riots and the protests and everything, and people ask, what is it going to take for it to stop? You know, why are you doing these things to properties, and why are you destroying businesses and, you know, X, Y, and Z, etc. And I'm gonna just speak briefly, but I feel a certain way about, you know, businesses getting destroyed and things like that. But it just gets to a point to where you have to minimize it to being a human being. And if you're constantly getting punched in your face, whether you know how to fight or can fight, there's gonna come a point where you're tired of getting punched in your face and you're gonna swing back. And you're not gonna care how bad you hurt that other person. You're gonna swing back because you're so tired of getting punched in your face. And that's exactly what it is. So all of this talk about it's not good to fight violence with violence and fire with fire, it's nothing else to do. We're frustrated. We're mad. We're angry. We're everything. We are frustrated. There's nothing else to do. It's gonna stop. And you can quote me because I said this before. It's on this platform. It lives on the YouTube channel. Whenever there's a mention of a cop getting murdered, my condolences to the cop's family. But as far as the cop, there's no way in hell you're gonna get any type of sympathy from me until it's the exact same thing across the board. And that's what nobody get. It goes back to that. Treat everybody the fucking same so we can have similar results across the whole fucking board. Don't minimize, don't have two situations that are super identical but minimize one of them because there's a certain race involved. Like,
yeah, a certain race. I want to just dissect back to go back to the looting part, because you see on social media that it's just the media showing one side of it, but and what they're not showing, but the black people are not the ones really doing the looting. It's the white people. And there's videos live where you can see undercover cops breaking into, the auto zone, breaking into these other establishments, trying to say that it's done on black people,
dressed in all in black, knowing that they're gonna blame black people for it.
Of course. And this is why, I posed the question, why is the hate so strong? Like, why is the hate so strong? Sidebar, this is why I was upset when a few years back, and this happens, this comes back every so often in fashion when they say, something is the new black or this is the new black. I've always been upset at that. I've always been upset at that because I said nothing is the new black. And stop belittling our culture by saying that. Fashion is the new black, this is the new black. Like, no, nothing is the new black. Black has always been in existence. When you close your eyes and you go to bed, that's the color that you see. You see black. Respect it as such. When you die and you go in that coffin, you're gonna see black. You're going to be reminded of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are everywhere. Whether you believe it or not, you eat a potato chip, that's us. You get in a car and you turn that car on, that's us. You stop at a traffic light, that's us. You use caller ID, that's us. You get blood from a blood bank, that's us. I don't need to continue. Black people have done enough. Those refrigerated trucks that they're supposedly supposed to be at hospitals for corona, that's us. And I posted on my platform, you guys are going to stop disrespecting us.
Completely.
Why is the hate so strong when we have nothing but love for everybody? We have nothing but love. We have nothing but love. As mad as I am about the situation, every time I pass by a cop, I treat the cop with respect. Every time. White, Hispanic, black. I look everybody in their eye when I talk to them. And I say, what's up? How you doing? And I keep it walking. Show respect. You show love.
Simple.
Yeah, I just can't fathom why the hate is so strong on our people when our people are a loving people. All across the board, you wanna pull from us. You wanna pull our food. You wanna pull our natural resources. Everybody's into the sea moss now. Where does sea moss come from? Everybody wants to be all in this shea butter, coconut oil. Where does that come from? That comes from our people. Everybody's into so much veganism and vegetarians and picking plants and herbs from the from the earth. Where does that come from? That comes from our people. That comes from times where we were slaves and we had to cook because the white man was eating the fancy food and we was left to eat, the collard greens and the black eyed peas.
Mm-hmm. It still tastes better than the fancy food. Just have to put that in there.
Of course. We were the ones picking the cottons. We were the ones sewing the cotton to make shirts. The shirts that's on your back. We were the one washing your kids and taking care of your kids and teaching your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
We were the ones singing hymns, which is why some of you, when you go to church, you sing hymns. We created those hymns.
Yep.
Native Americans, do your history, Black. They went through their own trail of tears. Murdered.
Facts.
When you look at the statues in Southeast Asia, half of them have big noses. They have big ears.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they believe it or not, they are Black.
Facts.
They have to go through their own hatred. They have to go through their own period of racism. We have to come together and realize the truth. All of us have to have that eureka moment and go, wow, this is bigger than all of us.
Way bigger, man. Way bigger. And this is also something that's been super big, I want to say, within the last 5 years. It's something that's kind of always been around, but it's been big on on a popular level. Is just self-love, right? This is something that gets preached every day.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love. When you wake up with that confidence. You feel me? Like, y'all joke on me a little bit about it. When I wake up, I'm a king. I'm a god. You feel me? I'm amazing. I'm good. This is things that we try to start our days with.
Yeah.
Just to go to that deep part. You don't love yourself. And I'm talking about to the white people. You don't love yourself if you wake up hating a whole nother person and you not able to really say the exact reason. There's white people who have never grew up around an African American their whole life. So where does your assumption come from that African Americans are criminals and thugs? Where? Because there's so many movies about mobsters and gangsters and they're all white. Italian, all white. Where does it come from? Who wakes up and, come on, man. It goes back down to what Lade said, like, we're so kind and still respectful even through the hardest of times. We still, we just never get that in return. Without doing nothing, we never get that in return.
We never get that in return. We never get the return. And you see why, like what Desmond said, you see why people are rioting. You see why, there's a big no justice, no peace. You see why, people have had enough, and during this time, I know of some cops, but we don't have that, in-depth relationship. However, I know that when cops get sworn in, it's supposed to be to protect and serve. It's for the bare minimum, it's to protect and serve. Seeing the videos of cops pushing citizens, out the way, using their cars to use extreme force. Listen, I said this yesterday in the dinner table. I posted on my social media. I seen a video where this cop just pushed this woman, and it's like she's in the hospital recovering. Had that been any woman that I have known, situation would have been left. Situation would have been left. As a grown man, you have the audacity to grab a woman with full force and shove her. This is what Desmond just talked about loving yourself. You do not love yourself. How can you look in a mirror and say that you love yourself? Because you do not. Yeah.
And stop walking around pretending like someone else doesn't have what you have. We all have parents. We all have siblings. If you don't have kids, you have nieces and we all have families. That's the point I'm making. We all have families.
Yeah. And we need to stop this. If it ain't happening to me, I'm not gonna apply it to my life. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. That shit is whack, yo. That shit is whack. Because when it happens to you, you gonna get mad when nobody steps up and defends you and is rooting for you and is in your corner. You're gonna get mad. So let's just stop this. Let's change the trajectory from this episode, from the day this episode gets launched on social media. Let us stop that trajectory, man. Let us stop that stigma, man. You know, if we all want to be on this humanity, we are all one race, one band, one sound. Mm-hmm. Let us stop that. You know, it kind of goes back to that African saying, it takes a village. Who's gonna step up and be the village? Who is gonna be the village? You know? Who is gonna be the village? We need to instill these things and say that, yo, you're wrong. Exactly. And yes, it's okay to be wrong. You know? I posted something on social media and 2 Black women said, oh, it happened on, you know, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, educate me. Educate me. It's okay to say I'm wrong. It's okay. It's okay. You know? But then a change has to come. You have to fix it, you know?
Exactly. This, for me personally, man, I've been saying so many true characters lately. And this is something that I've been preaching since the day you met me. You can fake personality. You can fake through actions. Mm-hmm. But eventually your character, your true character is going to start to creep through. And that's exactly what I've been saying lately. I'm firm whether people agree with me or not. Me and Lade have a great friendship because we can agree to disagree and have healthy debates. I stand on my morals, my principles, and my beliefs. Nobody's going to knock me off of that, which is why I'm the way I am. I can't stay quiet. And I feel strongly about something, I have to speak on it. If it's around me and it's affecting me, I am going to speak on it. Even if it doesn't directly affect me. Like I said, I'm around it. I gotta say something. I have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just like, wrong is wrong. Like, I don't know how to sugar, like, that's just the person I am, you know, like, I just can't sugarcoat, man. Like, I have to be true to myself. Like, I just, if it's wrong, it's wrong, you know, and you just have to deliver it in a way where it can be received well.
Mm-hmm. So, and everybody out there who constantly preach like, yeah, that's wrong, and I'm real this, I'm real that, stand on that. Now is the time, stand on that. Mm-hmm. You can say whatever, my demeanor, people can make their jokes, or oh, you just being a hood dude, whatever. I stand on that, and I'm fighting for it. Not because I feel like I have to, or I want to be cool. Like I said, I would not be true to myself if I didn't. Yeah. You're not true to yourself if you don't. Right. This is for me personally. This is just me, talking about Desmond Bonet. For me personally, I'm so engulfed in the culture that it would be stupid for me to not say anything. I do music. I've done music. Just that alone. Any rappers out there, anybody out there doing that, you can't be walking around not saying nothing. It's a part of my everyday life, from the people I hang out with to my family, to the music I listen to the type of music that I write, the conversations we have, the podcast, the audience, the content, everything we do is surrounded by African American culture. And that's what I'm saying, African American. I'm not just saying Black. all the way back to South Africa. I've never been to Africa, so I don't want to, say no wrong parts, but just going all the way back to Africa, the dances that they did, we all got it from there. So how can you take so much, but not want to be there when it's time to talk and take action?
Yeah, facts.
It's simple, man. It's that simple. That's simple. If you a man, I'm not gonna say a real nigga, I'm not gonna say anything like that. If you a man, if you a woman, and you walk around with your head up high and you stand on whatever morals and beliefs you have, speak.
Yeah.
Even if you might not know how to fight, or even if you might not, look, it's facts is facts. Some people just don't have the heart. If you don't have the heart to physically fight the way everyone else is, like I said, we all have platforms, big or small. Everybody has social media. I just brought my IG back. Everybody has social media. Say something. Say something.
I had to bring mine back. I couldn't the reason why I got off social media was because of what's happening right now. That's the reason why I got off. It was literally too much. And with the information that we both know as descendants of Africa within us, we have to pull back. For our mental health and for our sanity, we have to pull back. But because this issue hits home so much, because we have family members, we have friends who are Black, who are African American, who are Pan African, who are Caribbean African.
Mm-hmm.
We chose to speak on these issues. And let me just jump ahead to give credit where it's due. Say what you want about Nick Cannon. Say what the hell you want. But this man has been fighting for our people for a long time. And you need to put some respect on his name. Situations happen. When crisis happen, he's in every city, talking to the families, offering them condolences, supporting them through money and charities. He's been on the front line. My son as well. Give my son some credit. I'm not saying other artists aren't doing so. I'm just relating back to what Desmond said.
Mm-hmm.
These are examples of people who are using their platform to make change. Beyonce said something. Ariana Grande spoke. People are speaking up.
Kardashians, where you at? Where y'all at? Y'all got mixed babies, right? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? It's as simple as that, man. Listen.
Oh man, there was a post talking about how she posted about her iPods, and then she took it off after people were saying that she was insensitive to what was going on. This is what I'm saying. And I'm seeing a lot of our people do it as well. It's like, how can you post something on Instagram that has nothing to do with what's happening right now? How do you I understand you have a business, you're trying to promote that. Understood that. Understood that. You have to make money. You have to live. I understand that. But by any means, I'm not taking that away from you. But how can you have a business which probably has a number of clients who are Black and not be interested in their struggle and not want to say anything about what's happening, just want to ignore the elephant in the room? And this elephant is huge.
Stay tuned for part 2. But until then, peace, love, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high.